transformation. But the reality of it is that transformation always takes place in the mind. Be renewed in the mind. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of the mind, which means that if there is going to be a shift, there must first be a shift in your mind. There must be Hey family, what is going on? What's happening? Welcome to The Shift. My goal on this show is to help you shift from your now to your next. Your now is where you're stuck. That's the thing you're trying to get out of. Your next, that's the vision. That's the dream. That's the idea. That's the concept. That's what you've been trying to get to, but you haven't figured out a way to get there. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you make that shift, make that turn, make that transition, make that adjustment, whatever it is that you need to do. You only know what your dream is. Only you know what your vision is. Only you know what your goal is. Again, my name is Tori. I am a pastor and I am the CEO of Go Next Global. And so thank you for joining me. I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to be doing this every single Tuesday night at 7:30, The Shift broadcast live. That is what you are tuned into. And I thank you so much for being a part of this. What I need you to do, I need you to partner with me real quick. I need you to be a part of my evangelism team, my marketing team, my spread the word team. And I need you to go ahead and push the share button, share this, let somebody know they need to hear this tonight. They need to hear this right now. If you're watching on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, or you may see this on Instagram, wherever you see this, I need you to share this with someone, because I believe that there's something that is absolutely phenomenal that you'll hear through these sessions. What are we going to do on The Shift? The Shift is going to be all about me dropping nuggets of gold into your life to really help you, push you, empower you. Not only that, there'll be times when I'll bring some special guests in on the show that are experts, people that I know that are influencers that can help us really, because I know you have something on the inside of you. I know you have a dream, you have a vision. I know you have it. And I know you want to see that thing come into fruition. You wanted to see it come into light. You want to see that thing manifest and be a reality in your life. And so I have a passion. As a matter of fact, truth is, I'm irrationally passionate about helping you get to the place that you're designed to be, helping interrupt negative thought patterns so that you can be everything that God's called you to be. Before I get started, there are a couple of things that I want to share with you. Now, several years ago, I wrote this book, this little book here called Lord, Teach Me How to Fish. Wrote this book called Lord, Teach Me How to Fish, Breaking the Spirit of Poverty Off of Your Life. This book is an absolutely phenomenal book that has some tools and some principles that I think would really help you break some things in terms of finances, in terms of that the mentality that you may need. So listen, this book now, it's available. I have boxes full of them that I want to get to you. We've had churches that have used this book for Bible studies and for small groups. We've had companies that have bought this book. We have so many people that have invested in this book, and I want you to be a part of it. If you've never read this book, time is now. If you're interested, I need you to type in the comments, teach me. Just type in the comments, teach me, and we'll reach out to you and make sure we show you how you also can partake in this book. Also, you know what? I don't want you to forget about the newest project. And now we're getting ready to relaunch this book. We launched it. Some of you bought it, and I appreciate everyone who took the time out to purchase this book. We're going to relaunch it because there were some adjustments we wanted to make on the book. We want to make sure that the product that you get is absolutely phenomenal. And so we went back in. We're redoing a few things, rewriting a couple of things just to make sure, again, that it's at the highest level of excellence and that you have everything. So it's going to be a relaunch of this book. So I want you to be on the lookout for the relaunch. Go Next, shifting you from your now to your next in your life, business, and relationships. It's an incredible book. It was forwarded by the master storyteller himself, none other than Andy Enriquez. If you don't know him, you need to look up Andy Enriquez. The Master Storyteller Academy, an incredible voice, an incredible influencer. So he did the forward on the book. This book has principles in it that I'm telling you will will rock your world in a good way and will take you to that next place of your life. So, again, grab hold to the books. This one will be on Amazon here pretty soon. This one right here, we will ship to you directly from our office here. We'll ship it to you. So, if you want this book, just type in the comments, teach me, and we'll show you how you can get this book, and we'll get it sent to you ASAP. So, an autograph copy, we'll autograph it and everything so that you can have that book. Now, let's get to our content for today. A lot of what I talk about centers around the mind, the mindset. You heard me say it over and over again, and I'll continue to say it. Your mind is either going to be a bridge or a barrier. It can be the bridge that you walk across, your mindset, the bridge you walk across to get to your dream, or it could be the barrier that's stopping you from getting to your dream. And so we really have to learn how to watch this, master our mindset. That's something that we don't really talk about. If you're honest, even in the school system tells you what to think, or the school system tells you how to know so that you can answer questions on a test. But even the school system, they don't tell you how to master your mindset, how to think. Right. And that's the goal. I tell people this when I preach all the time. So my goal when I'm preaching is not to tell you what to think. My goal is to help you think. Right. That's what I want to do. I'm going to spark questions. I'm going to make statements that are going to be statements to make you go and go. I think it was Arsenio Hall used to say, make you say, It's going to be things that's going to make you think, so that when you go home, I want you thinking about the message. I want you thinking about the message the whole night. I don't want you just to say, man, that was a good message, or that was a good sermon, or you showed it preach. I want you to be thinking about what I said. I want to challenge you to the point that you're thinking about what I said. So mindset is huge. And that's what we're going to continue to talk about on the shift, because you're not going to make any shift in your life until you shift your mindset. Okay, so let's deal with some various aspects of the mindset. One of the things that I really want to talk about today, I want to talk about the uniqueness of thought, or having a unique thought, or the power of a unique thought, right? Because I think one of the greatest pandemics that we have had in our world for centuries, for decades, for years upon years upon years, I think the greatest pandemic that we've had is the pandemic called conformity. The pandemic called conformity. Conformity has been a conversation for many years, and it's been an issue for many years. Even Napoleon Hill, he talked about men conforming, people conforming in the world, that most of the time what we do is we just get up and we just conform to the world. We do the same routine day after day after day. We do what everyone else is doing day after day after day. We like what everyone else likes. We try to wear what everyone wears. We do whatever everyone else is doing. We just conform to that thing, right? And here's what I want you to understand. Conformity is not just about action or doing. It's not just about what you do. Because sometimes we think, well, I'm not going to be like everybody else, so I'm just going to dress different. Or I'm not going to be like everybody else, so I'm just going to wear my hair different. I'm not going to be like everybody else, so I'm just going to do. But the reality is this, that you need to get. That conformity is not just about what you're doing. It's more so about what you're thinking. You hear that? Conformity is not just about what you're doing. Conformity is also about what you're thinking. Okay, so let's dig into this. Let's get a working definition of conformity. Now you're gonna see this on the screen. Here is from Merriam-Webster Dictionary.com. Conformity is the act of, watch this, matching attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors to group norms, politics, or being like-minded. So the conformity is the act of, I said it's not just about doing, but look what it says, the act of matching attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors to group norms. So it is being what everyone else is. It is the attitudes of everyone else. It is the beliefs of everyone else. And I said this the other day on social media, that if you really want to get a different result than everyone else is getting, it's going to become imperative that you have a different thought than everyone else is thinking. It's just that simple. Like, it's that Simple. That if I'm going to get a different result, like in other words, if I'm going to make a different kind of money, like everyone else, there's a median income. I'm in Oklahoma. I don't know where you're watching this from. As a matter of fact, wherever you're watching from, type it in the comments so we can kind of get a gauge of who's all watching and what cities and what states and what countries you're watching from. I don't know where you watch from. In Oklahoma, the median income is about $40,000. It's about $40,000 in Oklahoma. That's about the median income. Now, the thing is, if you want to go from 40,000 to 100,000, 100,000 to 20 or 200,000, if you want to go to 6, 7, 8 figures, whatever it is, you have to realize that every level requires a different level of thought. In other words, I cannot think like the $40,000 group if I want to make $200,000. Did you hear me? I can't conform my attitudes. My attitude has to be different. My belief has to be different, right? And then my behavior has to be different. You can't neglect any of these aspects. Again, listen, you can't change your behavior without first changing your attitude, your thought, your mindset, or your beliefs. And what we often try to do is we go and we say, well, I'm going to go see what are the rich people doing? What are the wealthy people doing? And I'm going to do what they're doing. Well, you try to do what they're doing, but you don't accept the mindset that they have. Are you with me? Like if you're an athlete, you can say, I'm going to do what Michael Jordan did so that I can become the type of athlete that Michael Jordan became, or LeBron, or Kobe, or whoever your person is, football, whatever your sport is. The problem is this: we oftentimes study the behavior, but we never study the mentality. Are you with me? We study the behavior, but we don't study the mentality. We don't study the attitudes. We don't study the beliefs that a person has in order to begin to flow at that next level, or at the highest level possible that we can flow at, right? So, but what happens is in our world is that we have a very strong, I said pandemic, a disease, it's a sickness of conformity. In other words, we're scared to break out of what everyone else is doing, because what does that do? That makes us different, right? That makes us awkward. That makes us abnormal, right? Because we are doing something that the rest of the world refuses to do. I've heard it said, I believe I heard Les Brown say it, that if you want to have something that no one else has, you have to do something that no one else does. You have to be willing to do the hard thing now, the hard thing that no one else wants to do, so you can do the easy thing later, right? That becomes very important. But what we do is we listen to the news, we look on social media, we see what the rest of the world is doing, and we do it. So, which leads me to this next concept that's important in this. It's called groupthink. 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 Now, you're going to see this definition. It's going to come up on the screen right there. Watch. Groupthink is a phenomenon that occurs when a group of individuals reaches a consensus. Watch this. Without critical reasoning or evaluation of the consequences or alternatives. Groupthink is based on a common desire not to upset the balance of a group of people. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go with the flow, because I don't want to say anything or do anything that will disrupt the group. Do you see that? Right now in the pandemic, we have a lot of group thinking. No one wants to disrupt. A lot of people don't want to disrupt the group. Politics, this is big. Either you're going to be on one side of the table. You're either going to be a Democrat or a Republican. But there's very few people that want to disrupt that system or disrupt that group to have another thought process to see if there's another thing that can happen. And so we get into this mindset, into this cycle of just groupthink. We wait and see what is the group thinking. So, because if I just want to be accepted, this is where it comes down to. I want to be accepted. I want to be a part of the in crowd. I want to be a part of the people. I want to be a part of what everyone else is doing. I want to be a part. It's the FOMO, fear of missing out. I don't want to miss out on what everyone else is getting or saying or doing. And so even though I may think on some level that there's something different that can be done, I'm not going to challenge that. I'm not going to go after that. Why? Because it's going to move me out of the group. So look, let's go back. Groupthink is a phenomenon that occurs when a group of individuals reaches a consensus. Here's the one I want to get: without critical reasoning. Without critical reasoning. So here's the truth. You're never going to be an independent thinker. Here's why I say that. Because all of our thoughts are formulated by experiences, by things we've learned, by books we've read, by movies we've watched, by peer pressure, by things that have happened as a child, because we come in as a blank slate, and as life goes on, things happen. I have that in my book about how that cycle works. So we're not independent thinkers. Someone has helped us formulate our thought. The problem is, oftentimes, we're not critical thinkers. Oh, God, that's so good. Y'all got to hear me right up in here, right up in here. Listen, it's not that we're trying to be independent thinkers, because everyone's thoughts are influenced by someone or something. The key is to become a critical thinker. Oh, yeah, critical thought. Myron Golden says it like this sometimes. He'll say, a lot of people don't think, they just think they think. Well, here's what a lot of our thought process really is. A lot of our mind and thought process is really the thought process of the group. And so we're really thinking in line with the group, thinking in line with the people around us, thinking in line with the people that are talking, thinking in line with the majority, right? Whatever our favorite news station thoughts are, that's really our thought process. Whatever our favorite political stance is, that's our group is, that's what our thought process is, right? So we're not really thinking. We think we're thinking, but we're really thinking through the lens or the filter of our worldview. We're thinking through the filter of what people who we agree with are saying. Are you with me? So critical thinking is different, because critical thinking is going to be a little bit more of an evaluation, right? It's a different thing happening when we talk about critical thinking. And so you know this scripture is very important, Romans 12:2. Be not conformed to this world. It's on the screen. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So let's break that down. I probably have quoted this thousands of times. You've heard it quoted thousands of times. I've probably quoted it online, I don't know how many times, but it's a very important scripture. The word conformed is what we want to look at. It is the word suske matizo, is the word suske matizo. Right? This word means to conform one's mind and character. Watch this. To conform one's what? Mind and character. Somebody type that in a line to make sure you got that. Mind and character to another's pattern. You see that? To conform one's mind, oneself, one's mind and character to another's pattern. Fashion oneself according to. Now, so this is important. So what's happened is that there's a pattern of thought that the world has. And listen, I'm not talking about the world as in, the church says the world versus the church, or the secular versus spiritual. I'm just talking about the world as we know it has a pattern of thinking. Now, from childhood, there's a pattern of thinking that's installed into us. Whatever your culture is, there's a pattern of thinking that's installed in you based on your culture. So to conform oneself, mind and character to another's pattern. So here's the question. What pattern have you conformed to? What pattern have you conformed to? Now, it comes from the word suske matizo, has the root word schema in it. That's where we get the word scheme from, right? The word scheme is dealing with the schemes that you function in, the schemes or systems. Schemes are systems. So what are the systems that you have developed for your life? What are the systems that you have developed for your world? What are the systems, right? Because these systems are determining, hear me, they're determining what you're manifesting. Do y'all hear me? The systems, the schemes that you're following, right? The schemes of the world, they're determining what you're manifesting. The Bible says that you have to know the schemes, the schemas of the devil, the enemy. What are the schemes, the wiles of the devil is what it called. That's the word schema. It's the same word. What are the wiles, the schemes of the enemy, the schemas of the devil that you're following? Why? Or of the world that you're following? Why? Because this is what is producing what you're manifesting. Are you with me? It is what you've conformed to. Now, listen to me. We're all going to conform to something, right? We're all going to conform to some type of way of doing things. We're all going to conform to some type of system. But the question is, what is the system you're conforming to? Be not conformed to the world, ion, the systems of the world or the schema of the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, which means that if I am going to get the result that I want to get, I'm going to have to do what? I'm going to have to figure out what I'm thinking, my mindset. What group am I thinking like? Now, I'm going to give you this last thing because this is the solution. This is the answer. Whenever it is that you are hearing a pattern of thought, you're hearing a way of thinking, you're looking at a group, whether it's on the news, whether it's your political affiliation you've had, whether it's your church, I don't know what the doctrine you're getting. You have to evaluate this based on the results that you want. This is your key. So you have to look at the pattern of thought and you have to look at the results that you desire. Is this way of thinking producing your desired result? Did you hear me? You got to get it. Is this group think producing the desired result? In other words, what I want to do is I want to evaluate the group. Hear me. I want to evaluate the group. And this may be the whole group of your culture, your generation, the world around you. What I do is when the world starts thinking a certain type of way, I evaluate that thought and I ask the question, does this thought process match where I'm going with my life? Do you hear me? Does this thought process match my destiny? Does this thought process match the ideas that I have? My goal is 7 figures. Does this group think, the way this group thinks, will it get me to 7 figures? That's the question you got to ask. The way this group thinks, will it get me to 7 figures? Relational, if your goal is marriage, you have to look, the patterns of thought, the way these people are thinking. Let me ask a question. Are they married? These people, do they have successful relationships? Do they have healthy relationships? Well, if not, their pattern of thought probably is not the pattern of thought I want to adapt. I want to conform to. Are you with me? What happens is that means I probably have to disrupt that thought, that pattern, so that I can get to what my goal is. I have to get to. So that means I may not have that group. I may not have those friends. I may not have that following. Whatever it is, I may not have it. Why? Because I recognize I have to separate not just myself, I have to separate my mindset. My God, that's good. I have to separate my thought pattern, because if I don't separate my thought pattern from this thought pattern here, I'm going to get the same results that they're getting. This is something that I thought about a long time ago when I started looking at the world as a whole and looking at what's happening and how people think about politics and all this stuff. And I started asking myself this question. People are thinking this way. Is this the result that I desire to have? Are you with me? Is this the result that I desire to have? Is this what I see myself doing, having, being? Is this where I see myself going? Is this what I see myself doing in life? Is this the goal that I have? Is this the dream that I have? Is this the vision that I have? Is this the idea that I have? Is this the thing that I want for my personal self? Are you with me? Is this what I want for my family? This right here. Is this what I want for, is this the income level I want? The relational level? Again, whatever that is for you, is this the thing that you desire to have? Are you flowing with me? If you're with me, I need you to type in the comments, I'm with you. Because this is going to be the goal. This is going to be the thing that's going to help you. So your assignment, what I'm inviting you to do. That's how I will say this. I'm inviting you. My recommendation is this, that you evaluate. You take some time. You may have to pull out your computer and you may have to say, let me write down the results I'm getting based on the way I'm thinking, the results I'm getting based on the way the people that I've conformed to. Do I want their results? I always say this. Listen, I'm very hesitant to take advice from people that I wouldn't trade places with. Oh my goodness. See, I just gave somebody life right there. I'm very hesitant. If I wouldn't trade places with you, I'll listen to you, I'll entertain you, but I probably won't take the advice. Because when I look at your life and I evaluate the way your thinking, what it has produced in your life, there's a big chance I'm going to say, "Yep, I don't want that." And so I'm not willing to trade places with you. Right. So that's why I'm always evaluating and I'm looking and I'm saying, well, if I'm going to think like this, it has to be something that's going to produce this result. That's the bottom line. If it doesn't produce this result, then I cannot think like this. You understand what I'm saying? I can't adopt society's pattern of thought. I can't adopt my generation's pattern. I can't even there's some doctrinal stuff that I don't adopt because I don't want that result. Are you with me? That's not the result I'm looking for. Now there's truths, don't get me wrong, there's truths that you can't overlook. I want you to hear me. There's truth that you can't overlook. There's truth that you can't bypass. There's truth that you can't get beyond. Truth is truth, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about changing what is true or what is. I'm talking about shifting or breaking the conformity of things that don't produce. The things that can't produce results. Are you with me up in here? My God. Listen, do not conform to the system's pattern of thinking, but be transformed, metamorphosis, transformed by the renewing of your mind. Whoo, my God. If we just get that one little moment, that one little phrase, that one little thing, that one little statement, I'm telling you, everybody, listen to me. It will change your life for literally the rest of your life. It will change it forever. Ever. You got it? Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining me for this few moments. I know something was said that empowered you, that pushed you, that's taken you to the next level of your life. Now, a couple of things I just want you to remember. If you want the book, type "teach me" in the comments and we're going to get you this book. We'll inbox you how we can make that happen. And then be on the lookout for this book right here. Go Next, Shifting from Your Now to Your Next in Life, Business, and Relationships. It's going to change the game for you. Both of these books right here are game changers, okay? Be on the lookout for this. We're hoping in the next few weeks or so, we'll have this back on the market. You'll be able to download it, order it, all that good stuff. And we're going to make it a bestseller. God's going to do some amazing things with that book. Also, if we want to take this show to the next level. I want this to be this is going to be a global experience. It's a global movement. Go Next is a global movement. And we're going to reach the nations of the world with this message that interrupts negative thought patterns so that we can see people unlock their potential, become everything that God has called them to be. And if you want to sow into what we're doing, if you want to be a part, if you want to partner with us in any way possible, we would love for you to have that opportunity to partner with us. The Cash App is down there at the bottom. You can Cash App right there. And what that's going to help us do is going to help us keep updated on our equipment. That's going to help us be able to reach the nations of the world with this message. And so if you want to partner with us, Cash App or $ Tori Montgomery, that's our Cash App. And you can go ahead and just partner. So right there. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, as I always say, your best days are not behind you. And contrary to popular belief, your best days are not even in front of you. That's crazy. Your best days are right here inside of you. And I want to encourage you that it's time, yes, you, right there, for you to unlock the best days of your life. God bless you, and thank you for joining the shift.